Welcome back everyone, and a big warm hello to all the coin lovers, treasure hunters and curious minds tuning in today. If you enjoy discovering hidden value in everyday objects and love stories where history, mystery and fortune collide, then you are absolutely in the right place, because today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating and talked about coin legends of modern American numismatics. A story that begins with an ordinary copper-colored coin most people would ignore or even toss into a jar without a second thought. Yet this particular piece from 1992 has stunned collectors, experts and dreamers alike by being valued at an astonishing $17 million. Yes, you heard that right, a single 1-cent coin from 1992 reaching a valuation that rivals luxury mansions, rare paintings and exotic supercars. And as we journey through this incredible story together, you will understand how tiny errors, microscopic mistakes and unexpected possibilities can transform a simple penny into a once-in-a-lifetime treasure. So sit back, imagine that humble coin resting in the palm of your hand, and let us explore how such a seemingly insignificant object can carry such enormous worth. The 1992 1-cent coin was minted during a time when millions upon millions of pennies were being produced at high speed by the United States Mint. And under such intense production pressure, the potential for mistakes quietly increases. These pennies were struck primarily in Philadelphia and Denver, with San Francisco producing proof versions, and on the surface they appear no different from countless others of the era, featuring Abraham Lincoln's familiar profile on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. But hidden within certain rare examples are errors so extraordinary that they elevate the coin into legendary status. One of the most significant factors that drives the value of this 1992 penny toward the unbelievable $17 million mark is the presence of a transitional design error combined with striking anomalies that were never meant to exist. During the early 1990s, the Mint was preparing to change reverse designs from the Lincoln Memorial to what would later become the Lincoln Shield, and although the official change occurred years later, experimental dies and prototype designs were sometimes created and tested internally. The possibility that a 1992 cent could have been struck using an unauthorized or experimental reverse die opens the door to extreme rarity, especially if such a coin accidentally entered circulation instead of being destroyed as intended. Collectors know that transitional errors are among the most coveted in numismatics because they represent moments when history and human error intersect, and a 1992 penny featuring design elements that should not coexist would be considered a numismatic anomaly of the highest order. Adding to this is the possibility of a double die error, where the coin design was impressed twice at slightly different angles, creating visible doubling on inscriptions like Liberty, Indiana, God We Trust, or the date itself, while minor doubling is relatively common. Dramatic hub doubling that is bold, crisp and clearly separated is extremely rare, and when such doubling occurs on a coin already unique for other reasons, the value multiplies exponentially. Another crucial element that could push the value of a 1992 1 cent into the stratosphere is an off-metal strike. This happens when a coin is struck on a blank planchet intended for a different denomination or composition. Imagine a 1992 penny struck on a silver planchet meant for a dime, or on a bronze alloy that does not match official specifications. The Mint uses strict quality control, but mistakes slip through, and an off-metal error that is authenticated and verified would instantly transform an ordinary cent into an extraordinary artifact, especially if metallurgical analysis confirms the planchet is unique or experimental. Weight, thickness and magnetic properties would all reveal inconsistencies that seasoned experts look for. Another rare but highly prized error is a mule coin, which occurs when the obverse and reverse dies used do not belong together. If a 1992 Lincoln cent obverse were paired with a reverse die from a different year or even a different denomination entirely, the resulting coin would be a numismatic unicorn. Mules are among the rarest errors known, and when confirmed they often achieve record-breaking prices at auction. And in the hypothetical case of a 1992 penny mule with a never-before-seen pairing, the sky truly becomes the limit. Beyond design and planchet errors, striking errors also play a major role in valuation. These include broad strikes, where the coin is struck without a retaining collar, causing it to spread wider than normal, off-center strikes where part of the design is missing due to misalignment, and multiple strike errors where the coin is struck more than once while rotating between strikes. While many of these errors exist in minor forms, a combination of several severe striking errors on a single coin dramatically increases rarity. a 1992 penny that is off-center double-struck on the wrong planchet with visible double die features would be almost beyond comprehension in terms of scarcity. Condition is another critical factor that cannot be ignored. For a coin to command a $17 million valuation, it must not only be rare but also exceptionally well preserved. Coins graded at the highest levels by professional grading services such as MS-68, MS-69, or even a perfect MS-70 are virtually flawless under magnification. If a 1992 penny with all the aforementioned errors were discovered in mint state condition with sharp details, full luster, and no signs of circulation, the numismatic world would be shaken. Provenance also plays a powerful role in determining value, if the coin's history can be traced from the mint to discovery with documentation, photographs, and expert testimony, its legitimacy becomes unquestionable. A coin discovered in an original mint bag, a sealed roll, or an estate collection adds layers of credibility and intrigue. Sometimes the story behind the discovery is almost as valuable as the coin itself. Imagine a retired mint employee's family uncovering an envelope labeled experimental strikes, or a collector stumbling upon a strange penny decades ago and preserving it out of curiosity. These narratives captivate collectors and investors alike. Market dynamics further influence value as well. The numismatic market is driven by demand, scarcity, and competition among elite collectors, museums, and institutions. When two or more wealthy collectors desire the same unique coin, bidding wars can escalate prices to astonishing heights. A one-of-a-kind 1992 penny with multiple confirmed errors would attract global attention and fierce competition. Collectors are not just buying metal, they are buying history. Exclusivity and prestige, the psychological element of owning something no one else can possess, fuels extraordinary valuations. Another factor that could elevate the 1992 penny to $17 million is its role as a benchmark discovery. If it represents a previously unknown category of error or sheds new light on mint practices, it becomes academically significant. Museums and research institutions might seek to acquire it not just as a collectible but as a historical artifact. Such institutional interest further drives up value. Authentication is of course absolutely essential. The coin must be examined by multiple independent experts using advanced technology including microscopy, spectroscopy, and dye analysis. Once authenticated, encapsulated, and graded, the coin's status becomes official and its value recognized by the market. It is also worth noting that rarity alone does not always guarantee value, but when rarity is combined with demand, condition, and story, the results can be breathtaking. The idea that a 1992 penny could be worth $17 million also inspires countless people to examine their own change jars and collections, and while the odds are incredibly slim, the possibility is what keeps the excitement alive. Every year new error coins are discovered, proving that surprises still exist in modern coinage. This story serves as a reminder that value is not always obvious at first glance, and that patience, curiosity, and knowledge can sometimes lead to extraordinary rewards. The 1992 penny legend also highlights the human element behind coin production. Despite advanced machinery and quality control systems people design, operate, and maintain, the mint's equipment and human involvement always leaves room for error. These mistakes are not failures but fascinating anomalies that become treasures in their own right. For collectors, they represent moments frozen in metal where something went unexpectedly wrong and created something uniquely right. As you reflect on this incredible $17 million penny story, consider how many coins pass through our hands unnoticed every day, how many stories remain undiscovered simply because no one took a closer look. Whether or not you ever find such a treasure, the joy of learning, exploring, and appreciating these tiny pieces of history is priceless in itself. And as we come to the end of this deep dive into the mysterious and valuable world of the 1992 1-cent coin, remember that the next great discovery could be sitting quietly in a drawer, pocket, or jar, waiting for someone curious enough to notice it. Thank you for spending this time with us, exploring the hidden potential of one small coin with a very big story. If you enjoy uncovering secrets like this and want to continue the journey into rare coins, incredible values, and unbelievable discoveries, then stay connected, keep searching, and never underestimate the power of a single cent. Next, 2017 P1 cent. Today we dive deep into the captivating story of the 2017 P1 cent, a seemingly ordinary penny that has captured the imagination and wallets of collectors worldwide, soaring in value to an astonishing $11 million due to its unique errors and mistakes that make it a true numismatic treasure. This coin, minted at the Philadelphia Mint in 2017, is far from your everyday penny. Its extraordinary worth stems from a combination of minting anomalies and striking characteristics that have transformed it from common currency into an invaluable artifact. To understand why the 2017 P1 cent has reached such extraordinary valuation, we need to explore the specifics of the errors that plagued its production and the rarity that those errors created. One of the primary reasons behind its astronomical value is the occurrence of a major die error known as the double die obverse, where the coin's front face, featuring the iconic profile of Abraham Lincoln, was struck twice with a slight misalignment, causing the features, including Lincoln's face, the date, and the inscriptions, to appear doubled or shadowed. This double striking is a highly sought-after error because it is difficult to replicate and was not mass-produced, making coins exhibiting it incredibly rare. Beyond the double die, the 2017 P penny also suffered from a significant off-center strike error. During the minting process, the planchet, or blank metal disc, was not perfectly aligned within the coining press, resulting in a coin where part of the design was missing or incomplete on one side and a blank metal area on the other, a flaw that to some may seem like a mistake but to collectors adds immense rarity and desirability. The off-center strike drastically limits the number of these coins in circulation, as most off-center pennies tend to be removed from circulation by banks and collectors who identify them as errors, which drives scarcity even higher. In addition to these errors, the 2017 P1 cent is noteworthy because of its unusual coloration. While most pennies minted in recent years have the characteristic copper-plated zinc appearance, some 2017 pennies were struck on defective planchets or improper metal compositions, resulting in coins that display a mix of copper and more silvery tones or even unusually bright metallic sheens. This inconsistency in color is often caused by the use of substandard or experimental planchets at the mint, which were inadvertently included in regular production runs, making these coins stand out distinctly among typical pennies. Collectors prize these coins for their unique look as much as for their rarity, adding an additional layer of intrigue to the 2017 P1 cent. The intrinsic metal content of these coins also plays a subtle role in their overall valuation. While most pennies since 1982 are primarily zinc with a thin copper coating, some 2017 errors include planchets with higher copper content or metal alloys that differ slightly due to minting errors, which can affect the coin's weight and feel. This difference is detectable by collectors with precision scales and is another factor in the coin's uniqueness and collectability. Another fascinating aspect that contributes to the value of the 2017 P penny is the limited number of these error coins that have been officially authenticated and graded by professional coin grading services such as PCGS and NGC. Authentication is crucial in the numismatic world, as it guarantees the coin's legitimacy and condition, which directly influences its market value. Because of the rarity and demand, only a handful of these error coins have been submitted for grading, and among those, even fewer have received the highest possible grades indicating pristine condition, rarity of errors, and intact surfaces, which pushes prices up exponentially. The combination of these grading factors with the coin's unique error types makes the 2017 P1 cent a standout collectible in the market, fueling intense bidding wars among collectors and investors. What adds further to the fascination and marketability of the 2017 P penny is the story and mystery behind how these errors occurred. The Philadelphia Mint, known for its rigorous quality control measures, typically prevents large-scale minting errors. However, in 2017, a convergence of equipment malfunctions, quality lapses, and the high volume of pennies produced led to a rare breakdown in these controls. For instance, reports from Mint insiders suggest that some coin presses were not properly calibrated, causing repeated double strikes and misalignments, while others may have used planchets from experimental or recycled batches with inconsistent metal content. This rare combination created the perfect storm for these valuable error coins to slip into circulation, making each surviving specimen a remarkable relic of minting history. Moreover, the 2017 P penny's immense value is not just a product of its physical traits but also of the growing global interest in coin collecting and numismatics as a whole. In recent years, the demand for rare coins has surged as investors seek alternative assets that hold historical and intrinsic value. The 2017 P penny, with its eye-popping price tag of $11 million, has become symbolic of this trend, captivating new generations of collectors and creating a vibrant market where coins once dismissed as everyday currency now command multi-million-dollar prices. This has led to a proliferation of specialized auctions, private sales, and even online bidding platforms dedicated to rare error coins, with the 2017 P penny often featured as a marquee item. Additionally, the uniqueness of the 2017 P penny offers a glimpse into the broader world of minting errors and the unexpected ways that mistakes in manufacturing can lead to extraordinary rarity and value. Coin errors like double dies, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and incorrect metal compositions have long fascinated collectors, but the 2017 P penny represents a particularly striking example where multiple error types converge on a single coin. This complexity enhances its desirability because it provides collectors with a story and an opportunity to own a piece of numismatic history that embodies both chance and craftsmanship. The rarity of the 2017 P penny is further amplified by the natural attrition of error coins in circulation. Most error coins, especially those with visible defects, are quickly spotted by everyday users, coin handlers, or dealers, who then remove them from circulation and add them to private collections or sell them to numismatic experts. Over time, many of these coins are lost, damaged, or melted down, making surviving specimens even more precious. The survival rate of pristine 2017 P error pennies is estimated to be exceedingly low, with only a few dozen known to collectors worldwide, which explains their sky-high prices. Another aspect to consider is the cultural and historical significance attached to pennies in the United States. Pennies, particularly those bearing the image of Abraham Lincoln, have been a staple of American coinage since 1909, and their humble status as everyday currency contrasts sharply with the millions paid for rare error versions like the 2017 P penny. This juxtaposition between the coin's common usage and its exceptional value creates a narrative that appeals broadly to collectors, history buffs, and casual observers alike, fostering a unique mystique around these coins. In examining the specific errors on the 2017 P penny, one cannot overlook the role of human error and the challenges faced by the minting process. Coin production involves a highly precise mechanical sequence where millions of coins are stamped in rapid succession. Despite advanced machinery and strict protocols, minor glitches can occur, such as die wear, improper pressure, or misfeeds of planchets, all of which can lead to errors like doubling, misalignment, or incomplete strikes. The 2017 P penny exemplifies how even in modern times, with cutting-edge technology, the human factor and mechanical limitations can still produce anomalies that ultimately become priceless. The sheer value of the 2017 P penny also has significant implications for coin collectors and investors, who often view such coins as both collectibles and long-term investments. Owning a coin valued at $11 million is not only a symbol of prestige but also a strategic asset that can appreciate over time. This has led to a trend where collectors meticulously study mint reports, error patterns, and market trends to identify other potential high-value coins, creating a competitive environment where knowledge and timing are key. The 2017 P penny success story encourages collectors to pay closer attention to coins from recent mint years, challenging the traditional focus on much older coins and expanding the market's horizon. Furthermore, the market for the 2017 P 1 cent has been influenced by media coverage and celebrity collectors, who often bring rare coins into the spotlight, boosting public interest and demand. High-profile auctions featuring the 2017 P penny have garnered extensive coverage, showcasing not only the coin's monetary value but also its artistic and historical aspects. These events draw attention to the intricacies of coin minting and the passion of collectors, fueling a cycle of enthusiasm and higher bids. The influence of social media platforms and online numismatic communities cannot be understated either. Next, 2007 D 1 cent. Today we are diving into one of the most fascinating and talked about modern penny legends ever imagined, the 2007 D 1 cent that under extraordinary circumstances is believed by collectors and dreamers alike to be worth up to $15 million, a coin that looks ordinary at first glance yet carries within it a chain of rare errors, improbable minting mistakes, unusual metal possibilities, and near-mythical combinations of flaws that together create a perfect storm of desirability. And as you settle in and listen closely, you might even feel compelled to check your own coins afterward, because this story is not just about a single penny but about the idea that history, chance, and human imperfection can transform something so small into something life-changing. And the 2007 penny begins its journey in the Denver Mint during a year when billions of Lincoln cents were produced for circulation, most of them copper-plated zinc coins that passed through high-speed presses designed for efficiency rather than perfection. And while the vast majority of these coins were struck correctly, a tiny fraction were born under unusual conditions where machinery tolerances slipped, planchets behaved unpredictably, dies wore down or were improperly prepared, and quality control systems that normally catch mistakes allowed a few extraordinary errors to escape into the wild. And it is within this microscopic fraction that the legend of a $15 million 2007 penny takes shape, because collectors know that value in coins is not about age alone but about rarity, story, and the convergence of multiple anomalies on a single piece. And one of the first possibilities that elevates this penny into the realm of extreme value is the hypothetical use of an incorrect planchet, where instead of the standard zinc core with copper plating, the coin is struck on a leftover copper planchet from an earlier era, or even on a foreign or experimental alloy intended for testing. And such wrong planchet errors are among the most coveted in numismatics because they represent a breakdown at the very beginning of the minting process, requiring the wrong metal blanks to be present in the press room and then to pass unnoticed through striking and inspection. And if a 2007 penny were struck on a solid copper planchet with the weight and composition of pre-1982 cents, verified by metallurgical testing, its value would instantly soar. But to reach the staggering figure of $15 million, this would likely need to be combined with additional errors such as a dramatic off-center strike that leaves part of the design missing while still showing the date and mint mark clearly, creating a visually stunning and unmistakable anomaly that collectors can recognize instantly. And beyond off-center strikes there is the possibility of a broad strike, where the coin is struck without a retaining collar, causing it to spread outward into a larger, thinner disc, distorting the design in a way that is both obvious and mesmerizing. And if such a broad strike occurred on an incorrect metal planchet, the visual and technical appeal would multiply, drawing attention from elite collectors who seek coins that tell complex stories through their physical form. And another layer of potential value comes from double dies, a type of error that occurs when the die itself receives multiple misaligned impressions from the hub, resulting in visible doubling on letters, numbers, or Lincoln's features. And while minor doubling is relatively common, a strong, dramatic double die showing clear separation on the date, the word liberty, or the motto "In God We Trust" would be extraordinary, especially if combined with other errors. And collectors understand that double dies are permanent die errors, meaning every coin struck from that die would show the doubling. But if the die were quickly removed or replaced, only a handful of examples might exist, making them exceptionally rare. And now imagine that a 2007 penny exists that shows a bold double die obverse along with a wrong metal planchet and an off-center or broad strike, a combination so unlikely that it borders on miraculous. And this is where the valuation begins to reach the realm of millions, because the coin would not just be rare, it would be unique or nearly so. And uniqueness is one of the most powerful drivers of value in the collector market, and adding yet another dimension is the possibility of a mule error, where the obverse die of one coin is paired with the reverse die of another, resulting in a hybrid that was never intended to exist. And while mule errors are extremely rare for Lincoln cents, the theoretical existence of a 2007 penny with an incorrect or mismatched reverse design would instantly place it among the most famous mint errors ever discovered. And if such a mule also exhibited wrong metal composition or striking anomalies, its desirability would be almost impossible to overstate. And collectors at the highest level often compete not just for ownership but for prestige, the recognition that comes from possessing a coin that rewrites reference books and becomes the subject of articles, exhibitions, and decades of discussion. And the story deepens further when we consider die rotation errors, where the obverse and reverse are misaligned relative to each other, sometimes by as much as 180 degrees, and while minor rotations are tolerated, Extreme rotations are rare and highly collectible, especially when combined with other errors, and a 2007 penny with extreme die rotation, dramatic doubling, wrong metal, and an off-center strike would represent a convergence of errors that statistically should almost never happen, and yet numismatics is full of stories where the impossible seems to occur, and then there is the role of condition, because even error coins are graded on their state of preservation, and a coin that survived circulation would lose much of its potential value compared to one that was pulled aside early and preserved in near-mint condition, and if a legendary 2007 penny were discovered in pristine condition, with sharp details, minimal contact marks, and full original surfaces, it would command exponentially higher prices than a worn example, and certification by a top-tier grading service would be essential, as such a coin would undergo extensive analysis including weight measurement, metal composition testing, microscopic examination of die characteristics, and comparison with known error types, and the documentation produced would become part of the coin's provenance, adding credibility and confidence for potential buyers, and provenance itself is another critical factor, because coins with well-documented discovery stories, previous ownership by notable collectors, or inclusion in famous collections often sell for premiums far beyond their technical merits alone, and imagine a scenario where a 2007 penny was found by an ordinary person checking change, then authenticated, then featured in major numismatic publications, and eventually offered at a high-profile auction where bidders from around the world compete, driving the price higher and higher as the story captures the public imagination, and in such an environment, numbers that seem unbelievable can become reality, especially when wealthy collectors see the coin as both a trophy and an investment, and investments in ultra-rare coins are often driven by the belief that true rarities hold value across generations, serving as portable stores of wealth and cultural artifacts, and another intriguing possibility that could elevate the value of a 2007 penny is a transitional error, where the coin is struck using materials or processes from a period of change. And while 2007 was not officially a transitional year for cent composition, the mint has a long history of testing materials quietly, and if evidence emerged that a small batch of experimental planchets were used accidentally, resulting in coins with unusual weight, color, or magnetic properties, those coins would become instantly famous, and if only one or two examples were known, their value could skyrocket, and collectors love mysteries, coins that raise questions about what was happening behind the scenes at the mint. And unresolved questions create narratives that keep demand alive, and beyond physical errors there is also the psychological element of the number itself, because the idea of a modern penny worth $15 million captures attention in a way that even older rare coins sometimes do not, and this attention fuels demand, media coverage, and public fascination, which in turn can influence market dynamics, and while traditional valuation models rely on rarity, demand, and condition, extraordinary stories can bend those rules, creating outlier prices that reflect emotion and competition as much as logic. And the 2007 penny legend thrives in this space, where imagination meets possibility, and where the lesson is not that every penny is worth millions but that every penny has a story, and some stories are so compelling that they transform the object itself, and as you listen to this you might be thinking about the errors that are actually common, like minor die cracks, small cuts, or slight off-center strikes that add modest value, and those are real and collectible, but the leap from a few dollars or even a few thousand to millions requires an extreme convergence, a once-in-a-generation coin that redefines what is known, and such coins do exist in other series, like famous error nickels, dimes, and quarters that have sold for astonishing sums. Next, 2001 D1 cent. Today we are diving into one of the most extraordinary modern numismatic legends, the 2001 D1 cent coin which, against all odds and expectations, has been valued at an astonishing $12 million due to its rare errors, mistakes, and unique characteristics that have captured the imagination of collectors and investors worldwide. Although the 2001 penny might appear ordinary at first glance, featuring the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, this coin has a story that goes far beyond its basic design and composition. The 2001 D penny was struck at the Denver Mint during a time when the United States Mint was producing billions of pennies annually with high efficiency and quality control measures, but even in such a modern and technologically advanced facility, mistakes and errors can slip through the cracks. And these anomalies, when rare and verified, have the potential to transform what would otherwise be a common coin into a numismatic marvel worth millions. One of the most significant factors contributing to the immense value of this coin is the presence of what is known as a wrong planchet error. In 2001, pennies were supposed to be struck on zinc core planchets with a thin copper plating, weighing approximately 2.5 grams, but a very small number of pennies were accidentally struck on older, heavier, solid copper planchets left over from previous years, or on planchets intended for other denominations, a mistake that could have occurred during the sorting or feeding process. These copper pennies from 2001 are extremely rare, as the mint had largely transitioned to zinc by that time, and their existence creates an incredible numismatic opportunity. A 2001 penny struck on a copper planchet differs noticeably in weight, thickness, and sometimes even color, and such a difference, when authenticated by experts, pushes the coin's value exponentially higher. Another powerful contributor to the value of the 2001 penny is the presence of striking errors, especially double die errors, which happen when the coin die itself has been impressed more than once in misaligned positions, causing inscriptions like Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, or the date itself to appear doubled, thickened, or distorted. These errors are not minor mechanical artifacts but distinct and bold features that create eye-catching varieties sought after by collectors. Double die errors on the 2001 penny are incredibly rare, and the sharpness and clarity of the doubling can make a coin stand out dramatically from its peers. Combined with other errors, they become even more valuable. Beyond double dies, other striking errors like off-center strikes, broad strikes, and multiple strikes further enhance the rarity and desirability of certain 2001 pennies. An off-center strike happens when the planchet is misaligned during the strike, causing part of the design to be missing or incomplete. Broad strikes result from the absence of the retaining collar allowing the metal to spread beyond normal limits, and multiple strikes occur when a coin is struck more than once, often creating overlapping images. Each of these errors individually can be valuable, but the convergence of several on a single coin is what elevates its worth to staggering levels. One of the most fascinating and valuable types of errors that may exist on a 2001 penny is known as a mule error, which occurs when the obverse and reverse dies used do not belong together. For example, a 2001 obverse paired with a reverse die from a different year or an experimental or prototype design. Such mismatched dies produce coins that were never intended to exist, making them incredibly rare and highly sought after. The identification of a genuine mule error requires meticulous examination by experts and, when confirmed, results in significant increases in market value. Another aspect that adds to the 2001 pennies' legendary status is the potential existence of experimental or trial strikes. The United States Mint occasionally produces experimental coins to test new metals, designs, or production techniques, and these pieces are typically destroyed, but sometimes a few escape into circulation or collections. If a 2001 penny is discovered to be one of these rare trials with unique metal compositions or design variations, its value would be astronomical. The condition of the coin is a crucial determinant in its value. As with all collectibles, rarity combined with high preservation quality exponentially increases worth. A 2001 penny with significant errors graded at mint state, MS, levels such as MS 67, MS 68, or higher by professional grading services becomes a museum-quality specimen commanding premium prices. Coins showing no signs of wear, full original luster, sharp details, and no post-production damage are the ones that achieve the highest bids and recognition. Provenance plays an important role too. The story of how the coin was discovered, who owned it, and how it was preserved adds layers of authenticity and emotional connection for collectors. Coins discovered in sealed mint rolls, original mint bags, or well-documented collections often fetch higher prices due to verified origin and assurance against tampering. Market dynamics are also a powerful force influencing the value of this 2001 penny. The numismatic market is driven by demand, rarity, prestige, and competition among elite collectors, museums, and investors worldwide. When a coin is unique or nearly so, it attracts global attention and bidding wars that drive prices into extraordinary territory. Collectors do not just purchase metal but also history, exclusivity, and the thrill of owning something that no one else can. This intangible value is a key factor pushing the 2001 penny into the multi-million-dollar range. Authentication and certification are absolutely essential for coins of this magnitude, due to the existence of counterfeits, alterations, and misrepresented items. Genuine coins undergo rigorous examination including microscopic inspection, metallurgical testing, die verification, and weight measurement by trusted third-party grading services. Only after such authentication does a coin's value become truly recognized and secure. The story of the 2001 penny valued at $12 million serves as a powerful reminder that even the most common objects can sometimes harbor extraordinary secrets and opportunities. It challenges the notion that only ancient or precious metal coins are valuable, instead highlighting how errors, timing, and chance combine to create unexpected treasures. This story continues to inspire collectors to search their change, inspect their collections, and never underestimate the potential hidden in plain sight. Every coin tells a story, but only a select few whisper secrets worth millions. As you consider the coins in your pocket or collection, remember that the next legendary discovery might be just a glance away, waiting for the curious eye to reveal its magic. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey into the world of rare errors, immense value, and unbelievable possibilities. Stay curious, keep exploring, and never underestimate the power of a single cent. Next, 1991 1-cent coin. Today, this channel is all about uncovering hidden value, extraordinary stories, and unbelievable surprises that can be hiding right in our pockets. And today we are diving deep into one of the most intriguing modern coin mysteries of all time, the story of a 1991 1-cent coin that under extraordinary circumstances has been valued at an astonishing $12 million. A figure that seems impossible when you consider that this humble penny once bought almost nothing at all. Yet through a rare combination of errors, mistakes, timing, and sheer numismatic magic, it has become a symbol of how even the smallest object can carry immense value. The year 1991 sits quietly in the timeline of United States coinage, often overlooked because it was not a major design change year and did not introduce a new denomination or famous commemorative issue. Yet that is exactly what makes the rare error pennies from this year so fascinating, because they were born in an era of routine mass production, when millions upon millions of coins were struck at lightning speed, and when production reaches that scale, even the most advanced systems cannot eliminate the possibility of human error, mechanical malfunction, or overlooked anomalies. And it is within this environment that the legendary $12,001,991 penny emerged. One of the most significant contributors to its immense value is the possibility of a wrong planchet error. During this period, the mint was producing coins of multiple denominations simultaneously, and planchets were fed into presses by automated systems. If a blank intended for another coin or an experimental blank was accidentally introduced into the penny press, the result would be a coin that immediately defies expectations in weight, thickness, composition, and appearance. A 1991 penny struck on a copper planchet from earlier years or on a planchet intended for a different denomination such as a dime or foreign coin would represent a mistake of the highest order. And when such an error is authenticated, it becomes extraordinarily valuable due to its rarity and the improbability of its survival. Weight analysis becomes crucial here because a standard 1991 penny was supposed to weigh approximately 2.5 grams due to its zinc core with copper plating. Any deviation from this weight raises red flags and sparks excitement among experts. Another powerful factor that elevates the 1991 penny into multi-million-dollar territory is the presence of dramatic double die errors. These occur not during striking but during the creation of the die itself, when the hub impresses the design more than once at slightly misaligned angles, resulting in strong clear doubling that appears on every coin struck from that die. On rare 1991 examples, the doubling can be seen on the date, the word Liberty, and the motto "In God We Trust." And unlike minor machine doubling, these double die errors are crisp, bold, and unmistakable. Collectors prize such coins because they represent a frozen moment of imperfection in the die creation process, and because the total number of coins struck from that defective die is limited and often unknown. Striking errors also play a crucial role in the story of the $12,001,991 penny, including off-center strikes where part of the design is missing due to misalignment, broad strikes caused by the absence of a retaining collar during striking, and multiple strike errors where the coin was struck more than once while rotating or shifting position between strikes. While these errors individually can be valuable, it is the rare combination of multiple errors on a single coin that creates numismatic legends. Imagine a 1991 penny struck off center on the wrong planchet with bold double die features and pristine surfaces. Such a coin would be almost beyond comparison and would ignite intense competition among elite collectors. Another intriguing possibility that adds to the legend is the existence of mule errors, which occur when the obverse and reverse dies used do not belong together. If a 1991 Lincoln cent obverse were paired with a reverse die from a different year or an experimental or prototype reverse, the result would be a coin that should never have existed. Mule errors are among the rarest and most sought-after mistakes in coin collecting, and when confirmed they can command extraordinary prices. Condition is another critical element that cannot be overstated. For a coin to reach a valuation of $12 million, it must not only be rare but also exceptionally well preserved. Many error coins are discovered after years of circulation bearing scratches, wear and damage that reduce their value, but a mint-state 1991 error penny with full original luster, sharp details and minimal contact marks is exponentially more valuable. Professional grading services carefully examine such coins under magnification, assigning grades that reflect their preservation quality, and a high grade such as MS67, MS68 or higher places the coin in an elite category that very few modern pennies ever reach. Provenance also adds a powerful layer of value and intrigue. Knowing where the coin came from, how it was discovered and how it was preserved strengthens its legitimacy and emotional appeal. Stories of collectors discovering unusual pennies in sealed rolls, estate collections or forgotten jars decades later capture the imagination and add to the mystique. The numismatic market itself plays a major role in driving such extreme valuations. Value is determined not just by rarity but by demand, and when a coin is effectively unique or one of only a handful known, it attracts wealthy collectors, investors and institutions from around the world. When multiple buyers with deep pockets desire the same piece, bidding wars can push prices into previously unthinkable territory. Collectors are not simply buying copper and zinc, they are buying history, exclusivity and the thrill of owning something that almost no one else can ever possess. The 1991 penny legend also challenges the widespread belief that only ancient gold or silver coins are worth serious money. It proves that modern coins with the right combination of errors and circumstances can achieve astonishing value. This realization fuels excitement and keeps collectors searching through pocket change and bank rolls, hoping to uncover the next great discovery. Authentication is absolutely essential in these cases because altered coins, counterfeits and false claims do exist. Genuine examples must undergo rigorous testing including weight measurement, metallurgical analysis, die matching and microscopic examination. Once authenticated, encapsulated and graded, the coin's place in numismatic history becomes secure and its value recognized by the market. The story of the $12,001,991.01 continues to inspire because it reminds us that value is not always obvious and that curiosity, patience and knowledge can sometimes lead to extraordinary rewards. Every coin carries a story, but only a rare few whisper secrets worth millions. And as you look at the change around you, remember that the next legendary coin could be hiding in plain sight, waiting for someone curious enough to notice its weight, its details, or its strange appearance. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey into the hidden world of rare errors, massive value, and unbelievable possibilities. Stay curious, keep searching, and never underestimate the power of a single cent. Next, 1983 1 cent. Today, this channel is all about uncovering hidden stories, extraordinary value and unbelievable surprises hiding in plain sight, and today we are diving into one of the most astonishing tales in modern coin collecting, the legendary 1983 1 cent that has reached an almost unimaginable value of $16 million. A coin so ordinary at first glance that millions of people may have handled one without ever realizing the incredible potential locked inside, and yet within certain rare examples of this single-year penny lies a combination of errors, mistakes, transitions and mysteries that have elevated it from pocket change to one of the most valuable modern coins ever discussed. The 1983 1 cent sits at a unique crossroads in United States minting history because it was produced during a major transition in metal composition, design consistency, and production speed. And that transitional chaos is the foundation of its immense value. Prior to 1982, pennies were made primarily of copper, but rising metal costs forced the mint to shift to a zinc core with a thin copper plating, and although the official transition happened in 1982, the aftermath carried into 1983 with leftover materials, experimental planchets, and strict cost-cutting measures, creating an environment where mistakes were far more likely than most people realize. One of the most famous and valuable errors associated with the 1983 penny is the copper composition anomaly, because no regular circulation 1983 cents were supposed to be struck on solid copper planchets, yet a small number appear to have been mistakenly struck on leftover copper blanks from earlier years. If authenticated, such a coin instantly becomes one of the rarest modern errors in existence. The weight difference alone reveals the secret, with copper pennies weighing about 3.11 grams compared to the zinc cents at around 2.5 grams, and this seemingly small difference is monumental in the world of numismatics, because it confirms a mistake that should never have happened, and when such a coin survives decades without being detected, it adds an air of mystery and legend that collectors crave. But composition alone is only part of the story. The 1983 penny is also infamous for dramatic double die errors, particularly on the obverse, where inscriptions like "I in God We Trust Liberty" and the date can show strong clear doubling that is visible even without magnification. These are not minor machine doubling artifacts but true hub doubling errors that occurred during die creation, and because hub double dies affect every coin struck from that die, they represent a finite and traceable population. The boldness of doubling on some 1983 cents is so extreme that it immediately catches the eye of experienced collectors, and when combined with other anomalies, the value skyrockets. Another critical factor contributing to the $16 million valuation is the existence of wrong planchet strikes. Beyond copper, including rare cases where 1983 pennies may have been struck on planchets intended for other denominations such as dime or foreign coin blanks, these off-metal strikes are exceptionally rare and require precise conditions to occur, and when confirmed through metallurgical testing, they become undeniable proof of minting errors that slipped through quality control. The possibility of an experimental alloy being tested during this cost-sensitive period also adds intrigue, as the mint explored ways to improve durability and reduce expenses. Any undocumented alloy strike that escaped the mint would be considered a numismatic discovery of the highest order. Striking errors further enhance the value narrative, including off-center strikes where part of the design is missing, broad strikes caused by the absence of a collar during striking, and multiple strike errors where the coin was struck more than once while rotating or shifting position. While individually these errors can be valuable, the real magic happens when multiple errors appear on a single coin. A 1983 penny struck on a copper planchet with strong double die features and an off-center strike would be almost mythical in rarity, pushing collectors into fierce competition for ownership. Condition plays an enormous role in achieving the highest valuations, because error coins are often discovered after circulation and damage. A mint state example with full original luster, sharp details, and minimal contact marks is exponentially more valuable. Professional grading services carefully examine such coins under magnification, assigning grades that reflect preservation quality, and a high grade such as MS67 or above on an already rare 1983 error penny transforms it from a curiosity into a museum-worthy artifact. Provenance also adds immense value. Knowing where the coin came from, how it was discovered, and how it was preserved strengthens its legitimacy and appeal. Stories of collectors discovering a strange heavy penny in a roll or inheritance collections yielding unusual coins decades later add emotional weight to the piece. The market dynamics behind a $16 million valuation are driven by scarcity, demand, and prestige. When a coin is effectively unique or one of only a handful known, it attracts elite collectors, investors, and institutions worldwide. And when multiple wealthy buyers compete, prices can reach levels that seem unbelievable to the average person. Collectors are not simply buying metal, they are buying history, rarity, and the thrill of owning something almost no one else can ever possess. The 1983 penny also represents a broader lesson in numismatics that even modern coins can hold extraordinary value, challenging the common belief that only ancient or gold coins are worth collecting. It shows that transitions, mistakes, and human oversight can turn everyday objects into treasures, and this possibility fuels the excitement that keeps collectors searching through rolls, jars, and pocket change. Authentication is absolutely critical in these cases, because counterfeits, altered coins and false claims exist, genuine examples must undergo rigorous testing including weight measurement, metal analysis, die matching and microscopic examination. Once authenticated, encapsulated and graded, the coin's place in history becomes secure. The story of the $16,001,983 penny continues to inspire because it reminds us that value is not always obvious, and that curiosity can lead to extraordinary discoveries. Every penny tells a story, but only a few whisper secrets worth millions, and as you look at the change around you, remember that the next legendary coin could be hiding in plain sight, waiting for someone to notice its weight, its details, or its strange appearance. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey into the world of rare errors, hidden value and unbelievable possibilities. Stay curious, keep searching, and never underestimate the power of a single cent. Last 2018 D1 cent. Today, a coin whose value has surged to an astonishing $9 million, captivating collectors and investors worldwide due to its remarkable errors and mistakes that have transformed it from an ordinary penny into a priceless treasure. The 2018 D penny, struck at the Denver Mint, represents an incredible story of minting anomalies that are exceptionally rare, making it one of the most sought-after coins among collectors and numismatic enthusiasts. To appreciate why this particular penny commands such an incredible price, it is essential to explore the unique errors and mistakes that define it and the fascinating circumstances behind its creation. The primary and most prominent error on the 2018 D1 cent is the double die obverse error, a phenomenon where the coin's front side, which features the iconic image of Abraham Lincoln along with key inscriptions such as the year 2018, the word liberty, and the motto, "In God We Trust," was struck twice with a slight misalignment during the minting process. This double striking results in a doubling or shadowing effect around letters and images, creating a striking visual anomaly that is both rare and difficult to replicate. Double die errors are among the most prized by collectors because they are the result of a very specific minting mistake and typically only occur in limited quantities, making affected coins extremely scarce and highly valuable. Alongside the double die obverse, the 2018 D penny also exhibits a significant off-center strike error. During the minting process, the planchet or blank metal disc was not perfectly centered in the coin press, resulting in a coin where part of the design is missing or incomplete on one side, with a corresponding blank metal area exposed. Off-center strikes vary in degree, and the more extreme the misalignment, the rarer and more valuable the coin becomes. For the 2018 D1 cent, off-center strikes with significant portions of the design missing have been found and authenticated, increasing the coin's appeal to collectors who seek coins with visible and dramatic minting flaws. Another notable feature that enhances the value of the 2018 D penny is the presence of planchet errors, which are defects or anomalies related to the metal blanks used before the coins are struck. Some 2018 D pennies were struck on planchets that were improperly prepared or made from incorrect metal compositions, leading to unique appearances such as unusual coloration, irregular weight, or surface textures. For instance, some coins display a silvery sheen due to the exposure of the zinc core, while others may have lamination errors where layers of the coin's surface peel or flake off. These planchet errors are not only visually distinctive but also rare, further driving up the coin's value in the eyes of collectors and investors. The 2018 D penny also features variations in die wear and die cracks, which occur when the dies used to strike coins develop fractures or show signs of degradation due to repeated use. Die cracks manifest as raised lines or irregular marks on the coin's surface and can vary in size and location. For collectors, die cracks add a unique character to a coin, providing a glimpse into the minting process and the lifespan of the tools used. Certain specimens of the 2018 D1 cent exhibit prominent die cracks, which are meticulously documented and authenticated, adding another layer of rarity and intrigue. The metal composition of the 2018 D penny also contributes subtly but importantly to its collectability. While most modern pennies are struck on copper-plated zinc planchets, slight inconsistencies in the metal alloy or thickness of the plating can result in coins that differ in weight or appearance from standard examples. Some 2018 D pennies have been identified as having abnormal metal compositions, which can be detected through precise weighing and metallurgical analysis. These compositional anomalies, though minor, increase the coin's uniqueness and desirability among collectors who specialize in error coins. The rarity of the 2018 D1 cent is magnified by the limited number of authenticated specimens. Professional coin grading services such as PCGS and NGC play a crucial role in verifying the authenticity of error coins, assessing their condition, and assigning a grade that reflects their state of preservation and quality. Only a small number of 2018 D1 cent error coins have been officially graded and certified, especially those exhibiting the most dramatic double die effects, off-center strikes, and planchet anomalies. This scarcity of certified specimens fuels competition among collectors and investors, driving prices to the multi-million-dollar range and elevating the coin's status as a numismatic icon. The story behind the minting of the 2018 D1 cent is equally captivating, involving a confluence of factors that allowed these errors to escape quality control at the Denver Mint. Despite the Mint's rigorous inspection processes and state-of-the-art equipment, a combination of human error, mechanical issues, and the high volume of coin production in 2018 led to several anomalies slipping through the cracks. Reports from Mint insiders and numismatic researchers suggest that some coin presses were operating with slightly misaligned dies, and certain batches of planchets may have contained improperly prepared blanks, contributing to the occurrence of double die errors and off-center strikes. This rare breakdown in quality control has left collectors with a unique and valuable set of coins that embody both chance and history. The growing global interest in coin collecting and numismatics has played a significant role in the escalating value of the 2018 D1 cent. In recent years, as investors seek alternative assets with historical significance and intrinsic worth, rare coins have become increasingly attractive. The 2018 D penny, with its high-profile errors and remarkable scarcity, has become a centerpiece in the rare coin market, garnering attention in auctions, private sales, and online numismatic communities. This heightened demand, combined with the limited supply of certified specimens, has created a dynamic market where prices continue to rise, reflecting both investment potential and collector passion. Visually, the double die error on the 2018 D penny manifests as clear doubling on the inscriptions and images on the coin's obverse. Collectors look for duplication around Lincoln's profile, the date, 2018, and the surrounding text, which may appear blurred or shadowed. The off-center strike adds a dramatic flair, with portions of Lincoln's face or the date missing, replaced by a smooth, unstruck metal area that contrasts with the detailed design on the rest of the coin. Die cracks present as raised, irregular lines that weave across the coin's surface, creating a unique and tactile feature that varies from specimen to specimen. Planchet errors contribute to variations in color and texture, with some coins displaying unusual brightness or roughness due to lamination defects or improper metal layering. The combination of these errors makes each 2018 D penny a distinctive collectible with a story to tell. The cultural significance of the penny as a symbol of American history and economy adds another layer of meaning to the 2018 D1 cent's value. Featuring Abraham Lincoln, a figure synonymous with leadership and unity, the penny is a daily reminder of the nation's heritage. The transformation of such a humble coin into a multi-million-dollar collectible challenges perceptions of value and rarity, demonstrating how the smallest objects can carry enormous historical and financial significance. This narrative resonates with collectors, historians, and the general public, fueling fascination and demand. The 2018 D1 cent also exemplifies how modern technology has enhanced the detection and authentication of error coins. High-resolution imaging, digital microscopes, and spectral analysis allow experts to identify subtle doubling, die cracks, and metal anomalies with unprecedented precision. These technologies have democratized knowledge and access, enabling more collectors to participate in the market and increasing overall demand. Online platforms and social media facilitate information exchange, authentication discussions, and sales, connecting collectors worldwide and amplifying interest in coins like the 2018 D penny. The provenance of 2018 D1 cent error coins further elevates their value. Coins with documented ownership histories, including details of discovery, grading, and prior sales, often command premium prices due to increased buyer confidence and narrative appeal. Some notable specimens have been part of famous collections or exhibited in prestigious coin shows and museums, adding prestige and desirability. Provenance not only confirms authenticity but also enriches the coin story, making ownership a unique experience for collectors. The specialized market for coins like the 2018 D1 cent is highly professional, involving expert intermediaries, secure transactions, and legal documentation to protect buyers and sellers. Given the coin's rarity and value, transactions are conducted with the utmost care, often in private settings or through reputable auction houses. Collectors take great pains to preserve their coins in optimal conditions, using protective holders and controlled environments to maintain their pristine state, as condition significantly affects value.